Down here at the Ascot Park Bowling Club with TJ Saunders, of course, the boss of Bowls Exposed. We're going to talk about the greens because a lot of people drive past and see the greens. Let's find out a little bit about them. TJ, this one here at Ascot Park, we're standing on the hallowed grass, I guess, for Ascot Park, the #1 green.
Yes. Yep.
Why #1? What's special about this one?
Well, they're called A, B, C or a D green, but this is the home of our Premier team.
Yep.
They love this one. I don't know whether it's closer to the bar or they're just used to it, but look, it's the funny thing about this green, it's a Tiff-Dwarf green.
Tiff-Dwarf.
Tiff.
Yep.
Tiff.
That's the grass, is it?
It is the grass, evidently.
Yep.
So all three greens are of the same, but they all perform differently. All greens.
Why would they make this one the #1? Is it just the grass, or are there other factors?
No, the grass is identical. They're basically prepared very, very similar. But you've got factors such as where the clubhouse is at 45, the way the wind performs around the clubhouse, and then reacts to your bowl. So I guess it's like a home deck advantage. Some clubs will use different greens to take advantage of where they're bowling, who they're bowling against.
All right, now if we have a quick scan over there, we look onto that. I reckon that's the #3 green, is it? At a guess. That one seems darker green. It's got more green to it than this one.
Yep.
Why would that be?
That one actually hasn't been cut ready for play.
So it's a little bit longer.
So it's just a fraction longer, and that's where you get that more heavy green.
All right, then there's the second course here, the one you play on, TJ,
Absolutely.
when you venture down to Ascot Park. We'll have a little wander over there. What makes it the second green? If the clubhouse was somewhere else, would that become a preferred green, or it's the slope or the wind, or what? How do they determine 1 from 2?
Well, look, I think what you're talking about is preference for one team over another, which green they prefer to play on. So our Premier side prefer to play on A green. So if we're both at home at the same time, then I guess the second team have to take the leftovers, so we take B green.
Yeah, I can see Sam's working away religiously over there, mate.
Absolutely.
Roughly over the course of a week, how long would it take Sam to prepare a green that's going to be played on the weekend? Because it's got the night hours playing during the week, you've got other games on during the week. I mean, do they protect the #1 more than 2 and 3?
Look, the greens are prepared, and young Sam over there getting ready for it. Look, all three greens are magnificent, and you can get a really good game out of all three. Sam would be at this full time.
Full time?
He would be, basically it's a full-time job getting greens up and ready, and the preparation for them, the spray. It's not just cutting and rolling, you know, there's understanding the routine of herbicides and maintenance of the greens. If you have a look through, I think you could go over all three greens and you wouldn't find a single weed or a blemish in it anywhere.
Yeah, watching him, he was here early this morning. He's been at it since we've been. He hasn't sort of stood still. Just to do one green, if he didn't have 3 or 4 to work on, just the one green, what do you reckon it would take him to look after that over the course of a week? Just if it was in a reasonable spot.
I reckon if on a basic one green, take him 3 hours a day.
Wow.
Just to cut it, roll it, prepare it. Like, and also one of the things is the greens are always closed on a Monday to let them do the maintenance work, so they do get rested for at least one day of the week. With multiple greens, it lets them take one out of service, water it during the week as well. So there is advantage to having more than one green, but yeah, I'd say about 2 to 3 hours.
Massive amount of water that has to go on them?
I wouldn't say a massive amount of water, because you water more less frequently to get the root depth, and exactly what they do with the greens.
All right, we've talked about the lawn side of things. Of course, things have changed over time, like they do, mate. They evolve. We have synthetic grounds now. Anything other than the synthetic?
Well, look, you've got synthetic, which is a mixture of, you've got a carpet and you've got what we call the mat.
Yep.
So they both perform differently to the grass. There's different grasses. There's a Santa Ana grass as well, which we still have 2 or 3 clubs around the Adelaide area that still run a Santa Ana, which the bowls will perform differently on also. All
right, when you talk about the bowls performing differently, let's talk about grass and one of the synthetics. Quicker or slower on grass versus synthetic?
Well, it's interesting, very, very good question. It depends on the carpet. They can manufacture carpet to give you a constant, what we call speed, 14 or 15 seconds, and then others will be constant 18. Whereas grass, the good thing about grass is that you can cut it to different heights to give you a different speed. If something goes wrong with your green, you can repair it. Something goes wrong with your carpet, there's a different scenario to repairing that as well.
All right, so clearly there's a home ground advantage. I mean, over the years in footy, we saw it where, they'd wet the lawn the day of the game, so it was slower for the players. Or is there a preference for you, TJ? Is there a preference on what you like to play on?
Well, it's grass all the way for me.
Is it?
I like it. It's lawn bowls.
Yeah.
Look, I don't dislike playing on carpet, but grass is definitely my preference.
Is it one of those ones like the cricket? You talk to the older cricket people, they love Test cricket. The younger generation like the T20. In bowls, is it the older generation like the grass? The younger generation now are more, they like the synthetic?
No, I wouldn't say that. Probably quite the opposite. I'd probably suggest it just depends on the club. You know, some clubs are full synthetic.
Yep.
So the reality is that people just grow accustomed to playing on that carpet, and then they'll have to learn to adjust when they come onto grass, and vice versa for us also.
All right, how do you see it as a player then, TJ? I mean, some people go, well, everyone should be grass because that's what we're used to.
Yep.
Or is it more the challenge of being able to play on a variety of courses? I mean, how do you approach it?
Well, I think that it's similar to golf. You know, if you played the same hole 18 times and then every course it was the same, you'd be really, really good at it, but it'd become quite boring.
Yep.
So I think from a lawn bowler's perspective, to get out there in the green, you've got the wind, you've got the height of the grass and the speed. There's a lot of variance, and it puts you to the test, and it makes what we've got with lawn bowls such a great game.
All right, last question, mate, then I'll let you go, and I've got things to do. On the outside, obviously that's where people spend most of their time. That where quicker than down the green where you're bowling? Does that need more attention?
Yeah, absolutely, and you'll notice through there, if you have a look, that's actually a little bit longer as it gets closer to the edge of the bank, because that's predominantly where people step off the bank and onto the grass, and that does cop a fair bit, which is part of the reason why we switch the greens around in winter and go east-west, to allow wear down the opposite ends, and it spins the green around, which is one of the advantages of having 8x8 greens, 8 rinks by 8 rinks, and evens that wear out.
TJ, always learn something when I talk to you. We turn up to play bowls, or you're watching them play, have some appreciation for the work that goes into the ground that they're performing on. We'll take a break, back with more in a moment.